Hey guys, before we get into the what if, I'd like to thank you all for 1,500 subscribers. Really means a lot. Thank you so much. Also, the other day, a few people asked me to create a Patreon because they wanted to help support the channel. If any of you are interested in that, there'll be a link in the description. Obviously, you don't have to, but I'd really appreciate it. It would mean a lot and would really help me out. You'd have a special thank you at the end of the video. You get access to polls like what do I start next, and also you get access to content like a day earlier. So thank you all very much. Now on to the what if. What if Deku stayed quirkless? Chapter 1. Deku sat in the doctor's room with his mother. "I'm sorry, but it's incredibly unlikely that you will ever develop a quirk," said the doctor. Deku's heart shattered. His dream of becoming a hero was falling apart in front of his eyes. The next day, Deku went to school but didn't smile the whole day. Deku heard his classmates talking about him behind his back, but he didn't say anything. He kept his head down and stayed quiet. "Hey Bakugo, did you hear? Midoriya's quirkless," said one of the students. "What, really?" asked Bakugo. "How pathetic." Bakugo walked over to Deku, slamming his hands on Deku's desk. "You really are weak, aren't you? It makes sense though. No one expected you to keep up with someone like me." Deku gritted his teeth. "You are so pathetic." Bakugo walked off and Deku took a deep breath. He just wanted the day to be over. The day slowly moved on until it was time for lunch. Deku walked out and sat down on a bench. He didn't feel like playing any games. He took out his lunch, and before he could eat anything, it was snatched away by Deku. "Hey, give that back, Kachan," said Deku. Bakugo ran back to where the other kids were. "Hey guys, look. You can read Midoriya's name as Deku. That must be what you call a weak, quirkless loser." Deku lunged at Bakugo, but he was blasted away. "Wow, look at that. He's so pathetic," said Bakugo. Bakugo threw Deku's lunch on the ground and walked off. "Damn it," said Deku. He punched the ground in frustration. "I hate this. I hate it. Not fair," said Deku. Deku began to cry. The day dragged on until finally Deku was going home. He just wanted to go to bed. When he got home, he immediately ran into his room and sat in his bed. He felt so worthless and angry. "Why is he so mean?" said Deku. Deku began to cry into his pillow before falling asleep. A few weeks passed, and Bakugo continued his assault. Day after day, Deku was degraded and made to feel worthless. Every day, Deku would cry into his pillow till he fell asleep. But one night, his mum came in and woke him up. "Izuku, baby, I've got something that you might like." She pulled out a flyer and handed it to Deku. Deku sat up and took a look at the flyer, reading it. Across the page was written an advertisement for a new Kung Fu class that just started in the area. "It's completely up to you, but I think it will be good. It will keep you busy instead of thinking about everything that's been going on, and it will keep you fit. You don't have to decide now, so take your time." Inko kissed Deku on the head and walked towards the door. "I'll do it," said Deku. Inko turned around smiling. "I'm glad. Now get some sleep. I'll sort out the lessons in the morning. I love you." Inko turned off the light and left the room. Deku laid on his bed, staring straight up. "I don't want to be weak anymore," said Deku. A few days went past until Deku's class began. It was a beginner class, of course, mostly full of kids Deku's age. No one took it seriously. No one except Deku. He took in every word his instructor said. He studied every move. "Now, we will all practice our kicks. This is the kick we'll be trying today," said his instructor. The instructor demonstrated a side kick, then took the kids through the individual steps to ensure that they knew what they were doing. "Okay guys, now it's your turn," said the instructor. All the kids got into a stance and tried the kick. They all fell over. "It's okay, get back up and try again. Remember to shift your weight onto the other leg." The kids tried again, and this time all but one fell over. Deku stood with his leg wobbling in the air. Inko, who had been watching from the side, smiled, impressed what her son was doing. "Good job, Midoriya," said the instructor. The instructor repeated the drill again until all the kids could stay on their feet. Every time Deku's leg shook less and less. Eventually the lesson ended and the children walked off into the changing rooms. The instructor picked up his things and walked over to Inko. "You said this was his first time doing anything like this, correct?" said the instructor. "Yeah, I thought it would be good for him to get some exercise and keep his head clear. Why do you ask?" "He has talent. He's a quick study and has an amazing drive and focus. Did something happen?" "He's been a bit depressed recently because he just learned he was quirkless," said Inko. "I see. That's rough to find out," said the instructor. At that moment, Deku walked out of the changing rooms and headed over to his mum. "Here, honey. Have you got everything?" Deku nodded. Inko took his hand and the two walked out after saying goodbye. "So, how was it?" It was fun," said Deku. Deku continued to go into classes week after week. Every week the instructor noted Deku's improvement and focus. "How can such a young kid be so intense?" said the instructor internally. After a few more months, the instructor came up to Inko after class. "Miss Midoriya, can we talk?" "Sure thing, what's up?" said Inko. "I believe that one lesson a week isn't enough for him. He has serious potential and I don't want to see that go to waste." "What do you suggest?" said Inko. "I'll personally give him one-on-one classes every day when he gets back from school here in the dojo." "Oh, I don't know if I can afford that," said Inko. "How about if I make it half price?" asked the instructor. "Sure thing. Why the sudden interest?" "I just found out that the junior tournament will be held in 3 months. If he does well, it could be his chance to get some recognition." "Okay, I'll talk to him to see what he wants," said Inko. "Thanks," said the instructor. The instructor walked off as Deku walked out of the changing rooms. Inko waved Deku over and told him everything. "So, how does that sound? Would you want that?" asked Inko. Deku nodded, making Inko smile. The next day, Deku arrived at the dojo. "Midoriya, before we begin, I must tell you that this will be far more intense training than you're used to. At times you will resent me for how hard I am pushing you, but when you are finished, I absolutely believe that you'll be able to win the tournament," said the instructor. "I understand," said Deku. Deku bowed to his instructor, which made him smile. "Okay, go get changed." Deku ran off to the changing rooms as the instructor finished setting up. After a little while, Deku walked out and the lessons could begin. "Good, now warm up. 20 laps of the room," said the instructor. Deku began running as the instructor set up and tested a punch bag. Deku finished his run and ran over to the instructor. "Good, now 50 push-ups," said the instructor. Deku immediately dropped. I made a good choice. Normally kids his age would groan and whine about doing all this," said the instructor internally. The lesson continued, Deku drilling moves over and over again until they were perfect. This repeated itself over and over again, day after day. Deku did the same warm-up and the same moves over and over again. After a month, Deku was starting to get irritated. "Why are we drilling the same stuff again? I'm ready for more advanced stuff," said Deku. "Master your basics, then you can move on to the next step," said the instructor. "I've already mastered them. What's even the point of doing the same thing over and over again?" said Deku. "Fine, I'll show you why we drill the basics," said his instructor. He put down the water bottle he was holding and got onto a stance. Deku gulped a little. "Oh no, did I annoy him?" said Deku internally. Deku's instructor threw a punch at Deku. Instinctively, Deku grabbed hold of his wrist and pushed his arm away, making it miss. "That is why we drill the basics. You may have mastered the move, but it's useless until you can use it instinctively." Deku let go of his arm, then bowed to his instructor. "I'm sorry, I was being rude," said Deku. "It's okay, now get back to work." Deku continued to train for the next month until it was time for the tournament. "You ready? Tomorrow's the big day," the instructor asked. "Yeah, I am," said Deku. "Good, now get a good night's sleep." The next day, Deku arrived in the tournament venue and walked inside. It was a small stadium but still had quite the crowd. Deku had learned that there was going to be an adult tournament in the afternoon. Deku understood now, because there was no way that this many people would come out to watch some kids fight. However, he was also told that a lot of the people come to see these things to spot talent in the junior divisions. Deku walked out along with the other kids that were participating. They looked nervous, but Deku wasn't. He was focused. Deku entered his first fight immediately with a kick to the head. In round 2, he faced a very strong kid but Deku managed to dodge his punches and grab his arm. The boy tried to break free, but Deku pushed him to the floor by twisting his arm, winning the match. The next kid was fast. He got a few good hits on Deku, but he fell quickly when Deku took him down with a sidekick. Finally, it was time for the finals. Deku's opponent stood a good head taller than him and was slightly wider. "Do not get hit," said Deku internally. The match started and the other kid lunged forward. He tried to swing at Deku, but Deku dodged all of his hits. He swung again, and Deku ducked under his arm, firing 2 quick jabs into his kidneys. He immediately fell to the ground. Deku won the match and the crowd cheered. Finally, Deku smiled. It had been several months since he had properly smiled. Deku was given his medal and sat down next to his mother. "Great job, honey," said Inko. Deku smiled and gave her a hug. There was going to be a small break before the adult tournament, so people began moving around. Deku stayed where he was because he was tired. After a little while, a few people came up to him. "Mark, thank you for coming. You're a good man. Midoriya, this guy helped some of the top athletes in the world get to where they are now." "Hello, young man. My name's Mark, and I want to sponsor you. You have lots of potential, and I think I can use that. With my help, you'll be able to get to the best dojos and learn from the greatest masters," said Mark. Deku smiled at the thought of learning from even greater masters. Mark noticed this and pulled out a business card, handing it to Inko. "He can go far. Give me a call and we'll work everything out," said Mark. After that day, Deku's life changed for the better. He travelled all over the country, studying under dozens of masters and winning tournament after tournament. Deku finally felt properly happy. Eventually they even made enough money that they moved out of their house and hired tutors so that Deku could continue training and wouldn't fall behind on his studies. Inko was a little worried, however. She wanted Deku to stay in the classroom, but she could see that the only time he was happy was when he was fighting, and he wasn't slipping in his grades either. "Nah, I don't need to worry. He's making plenty of friends in the dojo, so he'll be fine, right?" said Inko. For the next few years, they travelled around the world. Deku was living the dream, however something was missing. One day, Deku woke up in the middle of the night. The moonlight gently drifted through the window and bounced off the wall full of medals and belts. "What is it? I love what I'm doing, right? Yeah, of course. It makes me so happy. Then why do I feel empty?" said Deku to himself. Deku rolled out of bed and began doing push-ups. "What do I want to do now? Is this really what I want to do with my life? Wasn't there something else?" As Deku said that, all the memories of obsessing over heroes came flashing back. He had stopped his hero worship when he began fighting, and had now almost completely forgot about it. Deku stopped doing press-ups and sat down on the floor. "I want to be a hero." All the pain of having his dream crushed all came rushing back to him. Deku shook his head angrily. "No, I'm not weak anymore. I can do it. I can be a hero," said Deku. Deku immediately picked up his phone and called Mark. "Hey kid, what's up? It's the middle of the night," asked Mark. "I want to become a hero. Do you think that's possible?" asked Deku. "Oh kid, what about your lack of quirk?" asked Mark. "I know, but I'm stronger than a lot of pros. I think I can do it," said Deku. "It'll be tough, but I think you can do it too. Do you know what hero course you want to go for?" Deku's heart pounded, and a fire in his heart reignited. He thought about All Might, the man who admired for so long. "UA," Deku said. "Okay, I'll call you in the morning with a game plan. Now, get some sleep," said Mark. Deku hung up and went to bed smiling. How could he forget his dream? The next day, Mark called to explain what needed to happen. "So, it looks like UA won't accept your application if you haven't actually gone to middle school," said Mark. "But I've aced all the tests and gotten all the grades you need to get in there," said Deku. "I know, it's annoying, but I've got to work around. Called up an old friend who works at Somei Junior School. All you have to do is go there for a year, and then you can apply for the UA." "Okay, that sounds pretty good," said Deku. A few months later, the new school year started, and Deku walked into class. Welcome. Everybody listen up. This is Izuku Midoriya. He is joining our school this year. Midoriya, would you like to say a few words about yourself?" said the teacher. "Sure thing. My goal is to join UA and become a hero," said Deku. "What's your quirk?" yelled a random kid from the back. The teacher scolded the kid for shouting, then Deku spoke. I don't have one. I'm going to be the first Quirkless superhero, said Deku. The class was confused, but stayed quiet, because they didn't want to be yelled at again. Well, do you have any hobbies? Asked the teacher. Oh yeah, I'm really into martial arts, said Deku. The teacher looked a bit pale. What was the headmaster thinking of letting a thug into his school? Deku walked to the back of the class and took a seat. A few people followed him with their eyes. He's cute, look at that scruffy hair, said a random girl. Nah, he's hot, look at those muscles, said another random girl. The day dragged on till lunch. Hey Midoriya, do you want to come have lunch with us? Said the random girl from before. The girl was holding her lunch in both hands and was blushing. Sorry, I can't, said Deku. Deku got up and walked outside to a nearby tree. What's he doing out there? Asked the girl. Deku fell forward, rolling into a handstand. He then took a hand off the floor and began doing one-arm handstand press-ups. The entire class jaw dropped. How was he even able to do that? Said a student. It's not that tough. Watch, said another student. The other student tried to replicate what Deku was doing and fell into a table. As this was happening, Deku was working out, not really caring what was happening inside. However, one person wasn't impressed with Deku's attitude. Ida stormed outside to face Deku. How dare you disrespect this fine academy by doing something like that? You make the place look messy, said Ida. Deku, still upside down, looked at Ida confused. What's the problem? I'm just working out. I didn't even take off my shirt, questioned Deku. Oh my god, yes, please, take off your shirt, yelled the random girl. Suki, please calm down, yelled Ida back. Deku continued, picking up the pace a little bit. Eventually, Deku switched arm by pushing himself off the ground with one hand, and whilst he was in the air, moving the other underneath him. He landed without issue and continued. This display almost made Suki faint. People here are weird, but at least better than my last school, said Deku internally. Deku flashed back to all the torment Bakugo put him through. No, I'm not weak anymore, Deku said. Deku jumped up to his feet and walked over to Ida. What's your name? Said Deku. It's Tenya Ida, said Ida. Ida, I'm going to be doing this every day, so I hope you can handle that. Deku walked off. The day went normally, but a few people were surprised at how smart Deku was. Deku made sure that if he wasn't going to go to school, then he'd have to get top grades from tutoring. Deku got home and saw that his mum was still unpacking. They had rebought their old house as Inko had missed it. She had missed all the memories that she had made here. Deku had also missed it, but not for the same reason. The problem with moving around so much is that no one nowhere had ever felt like home. This place did. Hey honey, how was your day? Said Inko. It was pretty good, said Deku. Did you make any friends? Inko. Maybe, not sure yet, said Deku. The next day, Deku did exactly what he promised. He worked out underneath the tree and Ida came storming over again. How dare you do this again? Said Ida. Deku didn't stop doing one-handed handstand press-ups. I said I would, said Deku. Why don't you do that at home? Said Ida. I do, said Deku. And Ida was confused and impressed. What is your issue with me doing this here? You are disrespecting the academy, said Ida. How? You think I didn't make sure I could do this before coming here? Asked Deku. Ida looked at Deku shocked. So the school has no issue with you doing that? Asked Ida. Nope, they even offered me to let me use the gymnasium, but I don't need that much space, said Deku. Ida calmed down a bit. Now, are you just going to keep standing there? You're welcome to join. Always appreciate a workout partner, said Deku. I don't know, and I definitely can't do that, said Ida. Deku stopped and jumped to his feet. That's okay, it works in your legs, so let's use those. Okay, that works, said Ida. Deku and Ida spent their lunches from then on doing laps on the jogging track. Of course, Ida couldn't use his quirk, so Deku easily outpaced him, but after 2 months, Ida had made rapid progress. The two sat on a bench outside their class catching their breath. How are you so fast? Said Ida. I've pretty much been training my whole life, said Deku. The two got up and walked into class. All the other students were huddled round one desk watching someone on their phone. What's going on in here? Said Ida. One kid turned the phone around to show the video of Deku in a tournament. In the video, Deku ducked into the opponent's arm and Scorpion kicked him in the head. You said you liked martial arts, not that you were a freaking super soldier, said a random kid. Oh, it's not that great, said Deku. What are you on about? There are hundreds of these videos, with dozens of different disciplines. How many martial arts do you know? Asked the kid. I've kind of lost count, said Deku. I know Jeet-Kune-Do, Muay Thai and wrestling combined with ninjutsu, Taekwondo, Bakugo, Aikido and Araki Kung Fu, just to name a few. Everyone's jaw dropped. Damn, that's scary, said a random kid. Oh, thanks, said Deku. The day continued and eventually it was time to go home. Deku was walking through the overpass when he heard something behind him. It was a wet sort of sound. He turned around to see a towering Sludge villain. Ah, finally something to hide in, said the villain. The villain jumped at Deku. Deku dodged to the side, evading the attack. You're a slippery one, aren't you? Said the villain. And you're a slimy one, said Deku. Deku punched the villain in the back of the head. Deku's fist sunk into the sludge. Panicking, Deku pulled it out and jumped away. Huh, you can't hurt me, said the villain. The villain lunged at Deku again. Deku slid underneath the villain and ran off behind him. Deku looked back to see the villain was chasing after him. Deku ran faster and then hit something. Deku was thrown to the floor and the villain began to panic and run away. Deku looked up confused to see All Might standing over him. All Might blew the villain apart with a punch and helped Deku to his feet. Don't worry, I am here, said All Might. Thanks for the save, All Might, said Deku. All Might put the villain into some bottles and then got ready to go. Well, have fun, kid, said All Might. All Might jumped away. He flew for a bit before realising that Deku was holding onto his leg. Whoa, what the hell, said All Might. All Might landed and Deku let go. What are you doing, kid? You could have got hurt, said All Might. I know, but I had to ask you something. I want to become a hero, but I don't have a quirk. Do you think I can do it? Said Deku. I don't know. Being a hero, All Might was cut off. He started coughing up blood and transformed back into his small form. Whoa, what the hell? Said Deku. All Might lifted his shirt and explained how he got his injury. Now I can only do hero work for a few hours a day, said All Might. I'm so sorry that happened to you. What were you saying before? Said Deku. Oh yes, being a hero is dangerous work, and I don't think someone without a quirk can become a hero, said All Might, who had been feeling pretty great recently, fell all the way back down, just like then, with Bakugo. All Might walked off, leaving Deku alone on the rooftop. No, he's wrong, I can do it, said Deku to himself. Deku walked out into the street and began walking home. Suddenly there was an explosion down the street. What's going on? Asked Deku. Deku ran towards the commotion. He pushed through the crowd to see a Sludge villain. What the same villain? Asked Deku. Then Deku saw Bakugo, who had been captured by the villain. He hadn't seen him for around 10 years, but he could recognise him anywhere. Rage filled Deku's mind. He vaulted over the barrier that had been put in place. He sprinted towards the villain at top speed, dodging the heroes trying to stop him. He kept running faster and faster. As he closed the distance between them, Bakugo opened his eyes. Deku? Asked Bakugo. Deku leapt at Bakugo and the villain. He grabbed hold of Bakugo, yanking him out of the villain. Once he was free, he threw him to the side and faced the villain. The Sludge villain swung at Deku with a massive sludge arm, but Deku dodged it easily. However, the arm did hit something. It collided with All Might, who caught it and countered with a massive punch, which blew the villain apart. All Might looked back at Deku impressed. Deku got told off by the heroes, but then Bakugo came up to him. Is that really you, Deku? Asked Bakugo. Don't you dare call me that, said Deku. Bakugo actually flinched from the hateful look in Deku's eyes. Deku walked off home. He was angry again. He hated being angry. It clouded his ability to fight. Deku walked around the corner to see All Might sliding in. Hello, young man. That was really stupid jumping in like that, but it was also incredibly brave. That is the true key to becoming a hero. Deku looked at All Might confused. I can pass on my power to another, and I want to give it to you, said All Might. This kid already has a body for it. He'd probably be able to use 100% straight away. Oh, this is going to be awesome, said All Might internally. No, said Deku. All Might snapped straight out of his thoughts. No? Questioned All Might. I don't want your quirk. I'll be the first quirkless hero. I'll prove you wrong. I'll prove everyone wrong, said Deku. Deku stormed off, leaving All Might shocked. Damn it. I shouldn't have said all that stuff on the roof, said All Might. All Might sat down. I'm sorry, young Midoriya, said All Might. End of chapter 1. Oh, guys, that was. What do you think? Tell me in the comments. I enjoyed working on this one very much. It was a good one to write, nice and dark. Maybe not really dark, but Okay, this is all non-scripted, so I'm just talking to you guys now. Yeah, tell me what you thought. Patreon in the comments if any of you are interested. Completely up to you. Yeah. I don't know what else to say. Oh yeah, this video is actually a 1,000 subscriber celebration. It's very much late, we're on like 1,500 now. But it's a 1,000 subscriber celebration. Whoop whoop, thank you very much guys. Let's hit 2K.